Hey guys, Golden Eagle here. Welcome to another edition of Gaming News Articles Weekly, a series in which I will take a handful of gaming news articles from the past week and give you guys summaries of them, as well as some of my opinions. This week, I have some more gameplay from the Battlefield 4 beta. It's a match of Conquest in which I use the Assault and Engineer kits. So, let's get into the news from this past week. Microsoft announced that the Xbox One's game DVR can automatically record the moments when you unlock your achievements. But it is up to the game developers to decide which moments of gameplay will automatically be recorded. But you can manually issue either voice or controller commands to the Xbox One to record other gameplay moments or something that just happened. I think that this sounds like an awesome feature that can be useful just in case someone forgets to start recording when they start playing, no matter what device they're using, either the game DVR or a third-party capture card. The lead designer on the PS4 launch game, Killzone Shadowfall, gave a little insight into what it is like to develop next-gen games on the PS4. He said that while the architecture on the PS4 makes the console easier to develop games for, the effort required to make those games has almost quadrupled. He said that this is because everything in the worlds of these games needs to look better than it ever has before. It takes a lot more communication and coordination between the developers to make sure that everything looks and runs as good as it can. The chief designer for the PS4, Tetsu Sumi, said this week that the original design for the PS4 was totally different than the one we have today. When they redesigned it into how it looks now, they were thinking about how it would represent how the PlayStation brand is changing and how it is going to be geared towards the future. Speaking a little more about the PS4, it was revealed that the DualShock 4 controller will be compatible with PCs as soon as it launches, as opposed to the PS3 DualShock 3 controller, which needed third-party support to work with a PC. The thumbsticks and buttons will work just fine, but there was no word about support for the additional controller features, like the touchpad or motion controls. Sony also announced that many existing headsets will not work with the PS4 at launch, but that sometime in the future they will release a system update that will allow for USB and Bluetooth headsets to work with the PS4. A producer for the Tekken fighting game series said that he believes the future of gaming will be related to services rather than hardware. He said that if there is a PlayStation 5, that it will likely just be a monitor and a controller. In other words, there will be no physical console, but rather just a PlayStation software that you'll play games on. This seems to align with similar comments made from Sony themselves previously, which stated that they want the PlayStation name to relate to a service rather than just hardware, and that in the future, they would like to see PlayStation games playable on all devices, not just from a dedicated console. Cliff Bleszinski, who is known for his work at Epic Games on games like the Gears of War or Unreal Tournament series, stated that he believes the future of gaming is in disruptive and new hardware and software, like the Steambox consoles and the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset from Valve. Or indie games like Gone Home. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the Xbox One and PS4? Or do you think that they are too safe and are just improvements of the same thing? And that companies like Valve, who are going down different paths, are actually the ones who we should be watching and talking about more? I'm not entirely sure myself, but I could understand people who feel this way. After all, both consoles actually have slightly outdated technology already. There are gaming PCs out there that are over a year old and are still more powerful than these new consoles that haven't even come out yet. But then again, it's likely that this new technology, like the Steam boxes, will most likely be really expensive and will only appeal to really hardcore gamers, so it might not make the impact that some people think that it might. Anyway, let's move on from the consoles to talking about games. The system requirements for the PC version of Call of Duty Ghosts have been revealed, and while you do not need a very powerful rig to run the game, it will take up a large 50 gigs of hard drive space because of all the different data that's in the game. For those of you who are like me and are playing the Battlefield 4 beta, DICE added a new mode to it a few days ago called Obliteration. In this mode, a bomb spawns randomly on the map, and to win, you need to plant the bomb at 3 enemy objectives before the other team can do the same to you. Also, the full list of achievements/trophies for Battlefield 4 has been revealed if you want to check those out. Another game called Triad Wars that takes place in the same universe as Sleeping Dogs is going to begin development. I'm personally very excited about this because Sleeping Dogs was one of my favorite games last year. Having it set in China and focusing more on melee combat rather than guns brought a fresh feel to the open world genre, and I would love to play a sequel to that game. Speaking of open world games, we got some more news about GTA 5 this week. According to reports from Intel, as well as other industry sources, it looks very likely that we will see a PC version of GTA 5 in early 2014. I'm not sure why people seem to be freaking out that there's no PC version of the game. Rockstar always releases a PC version of each Grand Theft Auto, and it usually always comes out a few months after the console versions. I'm not sure why people are thinking that they won't do the same thing this time. But oh well, I don't know. And I can pretty much guarantee that we are going to see next-gen versions for the PS4 and Xbox One sometime next year as well. Last week, Rockstar released a patch that was supposed to fix many of the problems in GTA Online, but it actually caused an even bigger problem of deleting players' created characters, forcing them to create new ones and to lose all of their progress, which really sucked. That personally didn't happen to me, but I actually haven't logged on to GTA Online in a few days, so I wasn't one of the people that experienced this problem. Thankfully, however, Rockstar has released another patch that fixes this problem. In fact, to apologize for all of the problems that players have been experiencing with the game, they are going to give everyone $500,000. That's 500,000 of GTA dollars, of course, so players can use this to purchase upgrades, weapons, cars, property, or whatever they want in the game. So, that does it for this week's episode of Gaming News Articles Weekly. All of the links to these articles will be down in the description of this video. Please leave some comments about any of these topics I've talked about. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.